down low. The 79 gets caught up in it just at the very end. The 67 though of Nathan Stanley makes it on through free and clear. He, Paul Ferdiani, and Larry Dickerson having a drag race down in the for one last attack, getting underneath him, not quite able to make it stick, having to lift once again. Into exit of turn number 4, down onto the front straightaway here. Who's going to win it with the drag race? It's going to be Timothy Pope. First 3 and 4, 751 with a hefty lead here, about a half a car length as the one gets up into the wall with a run down. 200 feet. It's going to be a close one across the line. Garrett Wells made it 3 wide on the far outside lane, picking up spots left and right here as everybody fighting for every single spot we go. Coming across the line, white flag. So here we go, final lap.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Hello and welcome in everybody as we come on host here to the JP Designs and DEP Graphics 160 Nashville Super Speedway here in the Numb Thumbs Racing League Cup Series. We have an exciting race for y'all here tonight, so let's not wait to get into all the itty bitty gritty details here and we'll get this party all started on up. But first, we do have to say a huge thank you to the great race sponsors of Track Bar Media. Big thank you to you guys out there and Track Bar Media. Fantastic photography and videography, whether it's in sim racing or real life racing. Be sure to go and check them on out. Big thank you to Martin Sports as well. Thank you guys for jumping on board here this season with some fantastic apparel and race gear as well. So head on over to Martin Sports to pick up some of that. Also, a big thank you to Davidson Builders, the premier custom builders there in the northern New Jersey area, as they do a fantastic job. And for any project, whether it be a big one or a small one, be sure to get in contact with Davidson Builders, of course, all as well. Big thank you to DEP Graphics jumping on board here once again this season. Some fantastic paint schemes done by them as well, so be sure to head on over to DEP Graphics and get yourself something all custom made there and looking pretty. And of course, Sim Gear Central as well. I'm gonna lose my voice just talking about all these great sponsors that they got over here, man. Fantastic button boxes. Absolutely love it over there. Be sure to head on over to simgearcentral.com to pick up a button box here today. As always, I am Alan Brown, and I am joined by two of the best idiots around, Mr. Alan English, joining me up here in the booth. Man, we're coming back to Nashville Super Speedway here, Mr. English, and we've already seen a pretty interesting race here from another league this season, and we're coming right back on to it, and I think we're in store for a good one.
Yeah, it's hashtag Stub Nation. This is the home of Stub Nation here in Nashville. Yeah, I mean, this mile and a third track is really cool. They need to have more tracks built kind of like this, I think, that not quite a mile and a half, not quite a short track, and it runs like a super speedway. So yeah, it's good and wide. You're going to see some cool side-by-side racing out here tonight. It's going to be a fun one.
That indeed it will be. As down there on pit road is Mr. Adam Turner. And Adam, we're all ready for the craziness that can happen here. Not quite a short track, not quite a mile and a half. It's somewhere in that in between. I got a feeling these drivers are going to get a little anxious out there.
Yeah, only in Nashville would they call this a super speedway. I mean, they stole the Houston Oilers, renamed them. I mean, they're renaming super speedways. It's a mile .33. This isn't a super speedway. I don't know what you want to call it, but it is an old surface, and it's kind of fun to watch a race on. So I'll let them make it tonight there in Nashville. Look, it's wide. It's pretty fast for a shorter track like this. I think we're going to see some interesting racing. I think we did last time we came here. 120 laps, so you're going to have some strategy to get through this one. Here's all you got tonight. You got one fast repair, 85% fuel, 3 sets of tires, 18 incident points, you'll get a penalty, 25 incident points, you will be disqualified. And I don't know, it's about 79 degrees on the track last I checked, so it'd be grippy.
Yeah, thankfully Nashville Super Speedway does have lights to throw that up into the wind column for these drivers here tonight, driving around this wonderful track, bringing us down to tonight's key to the race. And boy, oh boy, is it a bumpy track, and you know what that equals. That means it's going to be a bumpy car ride out there. They're going to have to hang on tight to that race wheel and be ready for pretty much anything coming off these corners.
Yeah, not only that, they're going to have to really watch the tire wear. We talked about this Nashville Super Speedway having an aged surface here. It's pretty groovy out there. These guys are definitely going to have some tires get ate up out there, but they got plenty of sets here. It looks like they got 3 extra sets, and they're only doing 120 laps. So
yeah, and
that really doesn't sound that good.
yeah, you're gonna have to manage them pretty well. And I think we were listening to Derek Welch. He owns like half of the internet apparently with all these races he does.
Thumbs, yeah.
Numb Thumbs Racing, Numb Thumbs Game, and Numb Thumbs Everything. Yes, he puts on a big show. I guess there's some discontent out there amongst the
It must be
people. They're getting into fights and whatnot. You're not allowed to fight here in this league, which is unfortunate. So
Numb Thumbs the breakfast cereal.
Yeah, I like that.
They got it out. Numb Thumbs the toilet paper.
What? That's from a movie.
Spaceballs.
Okay, yeah, that's
it.
picture.
I knew that one as
What?
these
Yeah,
guys finish up. These guys finish up on their qualifying run, which means we can head on down onto pit lane here and get a handle on who's starting where here this evening. And getting us started on off is the 315 of Mr. Zach Millett getting that pole position. You're going to have the 66 of Drew Blaze out there as well, starting to his outside there in second. 64 Joe Hoggard having a pretty good starting spot here tonight, third place. 69 Larry Dickerson to his outside, starting up there in fourth. Fifth will be the 18 of Mr. Chris Klein with the 3 of Chris Muth Jr. starting to his outside there in sixth. Seventh will be the 53 Kevin Delia with the 32 Nick Biddy starting there in eighth. Ninth will be the 76 of Jeff Ottinger with the 5 of Anthony Williams rounding out tonight's starting top 10.
Row number 6 is going to be the 44 of Dana Shepard inside of the 34 of Justin Johnson. Row number 7 is going to be the 2 of Scott Milner and the 10 of Sean Walton. Row number 8 here is going to be Tate Cawthorn and Derek Welch side by side in the 17 and the 1 respectively. Chuck Kiger in the 22 is going to be on the inside line in row number 9, and AJ Evangelista in the 005 is going to be to his outside. Row number 10 and rounding out your top 20, the 05 of PJ Cox and the 15 of Vincent Short.
7, Tristan Cotton, 21st. Number 4, Russ Kilgore starts 22nd. Mark Collins, 23rd. Blaine Woodruff, he'll start 24th, and that's 71 Next Gen Machine. 33, the Gambler, Paul Ferdiani, 25th. 03, Dylan Bryant, 26th. 48, Skylar Herod, start 27th. Joe David, and that's 6th. 28th, the 92, Timothy Stubblefield, that's his track right here in Nashville. 29th, Jarrett Woodward, number 79, he will start 30th. Go ahead, English.
Jarrett Woodard. Let's see, 68 of Christopher Campbell will start 31st. 32nd will be Albert Anderson, America's driver in the 329. Double O Joe Bennett starting 33rd. Hang on a second. My grid's all jacked up. Where do we leave off?
30.
Anderson, Double O Joe Bennett. 28 of Chris Goins. 34th. 35th will be Stephen Wood in the 19. The 13 of Jonathan Hammond will start 36th. 37th will be Thomas Welch in the 9. The 55, Robert Edgerton will start 38th. 39th. Looks like Tom Barish, I think, is race control. And Mike Adamson is 40th.
See, like how I threw you a curveball there? You did well. I mean, you messed up a little bit. That was my fault.
Oh, yeah, you're good, man. I was ready.
You were.
That you were, as we get ready to head on out there for some great racing action. We thank all you fans out there on the YouTube jumping on board here early on. No, all our boys racing TVs out there giving us a good shout out there. Jennifer Ray, Michael Goslin, Rebecca Davis, Chris Jordan, Derek Donna, and Ginger Parent. Thank you all for tuning in and watching as we go green flag racing for the first time here tonight, with that 315 and the 66 going side by side. 64 machine there as well, as we're already 3 wide right behind them, though. It looks like that's going to separate pretty quick. The 69, Larry Dickerson, was getting caught up in the middle just a little bit, but able to break on free. He's getting free and clear of the 18 of Chris Klein. Solid start for these drivers out here. Same thing with the 64, Joe Hoggard, finally getting out in front of that 66 of Drew Blaze. Jeff Ottinger in the 76 machine starting to get a little caught up in a little bit of racing action here as well, trying to get back to the inside here of that 32 of Nick Biddy. 44, Dana Shepard, breaking free and clear some traffic here as well.
Yeah, thanks to everybody for joining us out there. Shepard Racing fans in full force out there tonight. Thank y'all so much for showing up. Derek, Donna, and as you mentioned, Ginger Parent out there as well. Kenneth Blackburn's out here pulling for LSR. Chris Jordan's pulling for Rob. And of course, you've got Jennifer Ray and Rebecca out here, part of Stub Nation. And then Tommy Welch, Mike Goslin's out there pulling for you. So get out there and get that W. And as always, HBR TV, man, you got to give those guys a lot of credit. They put on a great broadcast and wished us luck tonight. So thank you so much to those guys.
Check them out too on their broadcasts.
Man, Paul Ferdiani having a rough go of it here early, deciding to make that Harbor Freight Cup car turn into a Harbor Freight lawnmower. A little trip down through the inside grass, but he's back up onto the racetrack. Doesn't look like he's dealing with too much damage there, so still going to be out there running. Just going to be a little bit behind, while the 9 of Tommy Welsh has a little bit of a battle here with the 92 of Timothy Stubblefield. Battle of the Welch and Stub Nation going on out there on track. Of course, the 9 machine running his typical Mountain Dew paint scheme. Absolutely love it. I also got the 7 of Tristan Cotton out there trying to run away from the 8 of Dylan Bryant, who's the 03 here.
Why did he do that?
I know.
That's what I thought.
I knew that would draw your ire.
Getting put on the list.
I knew when I read that number it was wrong. So, even though he's got a cool looking paint scheme, I do like that paint scheme. You're in trouble.
You saw the 7
Ooh.
bounce off the wall there.
Yes.
Just
71, Blaine Woodruff also takes a trip down through the inside grass, missing or hitting some spots that Paul Ferdiani may have missed. At the meantime, Bryant still passing some people here, trying to get around the 4 of Russ Kilgore. We've seen Russ race a few times here and there, and he's a fantastic driver. Look for him to really put on a show here tonight. Maybe just trying to get his sea legs up underneath him here. Another one to add to your list there, Turner, is 66 of True Blaze. I got him showing the number 1 machine here tonight.
Oh my goodness, this guy Drew Blaze. I don't think we've seen him
big
race.
contact.
Uh-oh, where?
Wrecking on the front stretch.
Oh, that is a big contact. Everybody trying to...
AJ Evangelista taking credit for that.
Yeah, he was claiming it. 005. See what happened there.
Well, leading up to that, we saw a lot of contact between Albert Anderson and Tristan Cotton. I mean, for a lap.
Oh, the 22 and the 005. That was kind of strange how that happened. I don't...
getting saved, and then both drivers kind of mix and choose and lose it on different points, and then it was just all helter-skelter at that point on the backstretch, and fortunately quite a few people getting caught up in that. Same thing with Chris Campbell getting all tied on up, Dylan Bryant trying to shuffle his way on through, but let's go ahead and take a ride here on this caution with the 79 Fiji water machine of Jarrett Woodard. See, had to check up and slowly filter his way on down through. Ooh, he even snagged the outside wall. Oh, goodness.
The new damage model on these cars, and you can see that number 5 GDS machine with the right side wheel just turning to the right as the car's going straight. I mean, he's broken tie rod or something there.
Yeah, I'm trying to dissect what happened there with the 5 and the 22. I think the 5 thought the 22 was losing grip, went up the track. I think the 5 tried to punch it, get around him, and then the 22 came back down. Kind of a racing deal, but maybe some anger. I don't know.
Maybe. Either way, things now officially underway here at Nashville Super Speedway, or as the Stubblefields call it, Nash Vegas.
Nash Vegas.
Yes.
They got slot
Cautious
machines?
I don't know, probably.
I didn't hear you talking about caution shots out there yet.
No, well, they normally do. This is the race they always talk about it. I guess they're
It's their
not
home
having
track.
a good
They
month.
might as well, get going.
They probably were pre-gaming with, out,
Yeah, maybe.
It
at
is.
the track.
It is. A Monday night. You can't go too hard
Well,
here.
it's summertime. I mean, come on now. I mean, something to celebrate all the time.
Disco
Celebrate.
Sleaze out there on
What?
the YouTube chat, pulling for Tommy Welch. Disco Sleaze.
I like that name. Remember
That's
when
pretty cool.
they had disco night at like the White Sox game and they almost burned the place down?
Yeah, everybody was. Didn't
Didn't
they
they
want
combine
Yeah.
it with like 50-cent beer night or something?
They wanted to burn all the disco records or something after that. I think. I don't
Yeah,
remember.
it was.
Well, we missed it the other night. It was, I forget which year anniversary, but the 10-cent beer night from Cleveland.
Whoa, was that the? It might have been two things I'm combining. Yeah, 10-cent beer. I don't care what decade you're in. That's probably a bad idea at the baseball game. Man, can you imagine?
Jessica Stubblefield had a message for you in the YouTube chat as well, saying you got a Titans jersey on the way to you, sir.
It better be the Oilers color, and it better say Houston somewhere on it.
That's gonna have like a sword or something on it. Isn't their logo like a sword now?
I mean, what is a Titan anyway? It's a mythological creature.
Giant. Yeah, it's a giant.
It's not real.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, but
It's a truck
New
by
York
Nissan.
Giants was already taken.
It is. It is a Nissan. I'll give you that. It's not a football team though. Dolan. middle of the night off of Kirby down there, 610. Stole it.
Somebody had to sell it.
Isn't their field like sponsored by Nissan too, so it just fits?
I think it is. As a matter
really?
of fact, yeah, I think you're right. They call those 10mm trucks. I wouldn't, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't know. Our good friend Jimmy's got one, and he
does. It's nice.
He absolutely loves it.
Yeah, Eric
Yeah,
had
nice
one too.
truck.
I don't know if he still has his.
I think he has two, doesn't he?
Does it? Yeah, they're nice.
He's got the heavy duty one, I think.
Yeah.
I can't bang on the Titan, Nissan Titan, but the Nashville or whatever they call them, Tennessee Titans. I can bang on them all day. I do like this track though. It's kind of interesting. The surface is really rough. So
Yeah.
it's going to cause some issues here as we keep going along.
And that indeed it will, as that pace car dives on down out of turn number 4, and we get all ready to lock and load here once again. Everybody getting all stacked on up, a long little trickle down to that Geico restart zone, and away we go with that 315 out in front. The 64 going side by side with the 66. Hoggard and Blaze having a good race off the line here. Almost some contact there between the 81, the 69, and the 53. Thankfully, they were able to figure that one out as the Skybox machine. Oh, no, there goes a 3 machine. Chris Muth Jr. going for a little bit of a trickle.
Yeah, we're staying green here, though, because all that action happened below the racing surface there.
Somebody was in the wall there in 4. Stayed up on it, though.
DSMO for Life is pulling for Tommy Welch out there, and so is My Name is Jeremy is also pulling for Tommy Welch. So he's got some fans out there.
As in the meantime, you also got the 18 machine, Chris Klein, trying to filter his way back on up through some of these drivers. He's right behind the 53, Kevin Delia, trying to get a good spot here. Zach Millett runs the fastest lap of the race, a 29.86, absolutely blistering those tires. You got Sean Walton out there in the 10 machine trying to run around. Looks like he's in the 23 paint scheme, so add him to the list, Turner. You got the 5 of Anthony Williams up there, as well as the 4 of Russ Kilgore. Don't worry, we're an equal opportunity list people. We'll put everybody on the list.
Zach Millett's got that Chevrolet wound up. He's got a couple Fords trying to run him down here. Joe Hoggard and Drew Blaze also running some pretty quick laps out here. Almost comparable to what Zach's running out front. Pretty close up there, though. I mean, you could just about throw a blanket over the top 4 drivers here. They're all within half a second of each other.
Yeah, even in the back here, I'm looking at Tristan Cotton at 17th. He's not too far off the pace, and there's movement all over the track in front of him. So I think the drivers are just kind of feeling out how these tires are working out, and we're going to see some movement real soon.
That we are. We do have some drivers joining us out here with their face cams here this evening. Let's go ahead and kind of do some running through on that. We got Mr. Chuck Kiger out here joining us on the race cam, getting in his laps. He's kind of got the whole winker set up by the looks of it. He's got the whole LED lights going in the background. It actually is a very similar rig to what I got by the looks of it too. Pretty cool to
That's a championship rig is what you got. I know you're a champion recently in Michigan.
Yeah, I had to get the new desk all in shape here, you know.
I know that angered you a lot, Turner.
No, I'm glad to share the crown with my friend Alan Brown.
He took it.
No, we're sharing it. We're both good at Michigan.
it works.
That's all we proved.
Can't see Tyson sharing his belt with Holyfield. Let's just share. Ooh, 8 got into the 9 really hard in the back bumper. 9 able to hold it straight. Goodness.
And now you got the 71 of Blaine Woodruff trying to filter on through that racing action here as well.
We got some differing lift points, braking points here at this track, so you're going to see that. You're going to see some guys, if they're close to one another, a little bit of rear end action.
Yeah, it's like comfortability, you know? Where are you comfortable and how are you comfortable on this track? Some guys may not be
Broadcast
comfortable.
booth.
Yeah, exactly, because there's so much happening during a race. The tire fall off if you stick it in they're too hot, you lift too late. I mean, a lot of issues out there on the track tonight. Nashville is a strange track. I think it's a little different than what we normally see.
Oh, when you're talking about tire fall off, I thought you were talking about the one lug nut and the tire was fall off.
It can fall off.
Oh, the Harbor Freight. You're going to get me on the Harbor Freight car again.
The whole wheel can fall off.
Yeah, they're not really cars. They only have one lug nut. What are we, Formula One? It's America.
76 machine Jeff Ottinger trying to filter on up and past the 4 of Russ Kilgore. Not quite able to do so, so he's going to reset and readjust and get back to attacking here. Right behind him is the 1 of Derek Welsh trying to... Oh, so we got a yellow flag.
Uh-oh, I didn't see what happened
What was
there.
the cause of this?
Oh, Nick Biddy up into the outside wall.
Ouch.
Saw him hit the wall in practice.
Oh,
Got a little demonstration on how the new damage model works.
looks like
Yeah,
he got
stuck
caught.
there.
He got caught up with the 3 machine. He just kind of kept coming up the track just a little bit there, and it looks like he got stuck up in that outside wall. It just wouldn't let him go.
Yeah, we've seen that before. Just kind of, what do you call it? The octopus, the
Looks
wall
like
octopuses, the car, and
What?
Dick's there. Like octopus arms, you know?
Like
just
in the
grab-
ocean?
Yeah, you know what those are. I think you had that kind of learning. Didn't you get that book learning?
Ate it before.
Yeah, you ate octopus? Did you
Didn't
cook
really
it?
like it. It was ceviche, so
Yeah.
the lemon juice cooks it.
It's a little tough for my taste, but
Yeah.
whatever.
Plus, it's kind of scary looking, you know?
It is scary. They scare
Scary.
me when I see them. You know, on the TV. I'd hate to see one in real life.
And in the meantime, we can head on down to the race track. Assuming these drivers aren't coming down into the pits. Don't want to distract nobody while they're trying to.
We got a few takers, Nicks down, obviously, and so is Chris Muth.
It's all right.
Jessica Stubblefield says this track is supposed to kind of replicate the rough interstates around there. And them locals down there, like Tim, they know what to avoid and where the potholes are at. Sounds to me like I-20 coming through Bossier City, too. The same type of deal.
Well, in the meantime, we can also talk to one of these drivers. Let's go ahead and talk to the 48 machine, Mr. Skylar Herod, out of the LTC GDS racing team out here. Kind of stuck up in the middle here tonight. Skylar right there at about 15th place. Looks like there's been a whole bunch of beating and banging going on out there.
Yeah, in front of me, I'm kind of let people just blow their tires out. I'm seeing a lot of dive bombing in the corners and drifting up about 1 or 2 lanes, so I'm kind of hanging back, just running a smooth line, keeping my tires fresh since we got 120 laps. And yeah, there's a lot of beating and banging though, so that's why I'm kind of hanging back and just letting them do their thing again.
We're
Hopefully
also
it'll pay out in the end.
We're also seeing a lot of guys nosing into people's back bumpers. There's differing lift points and braking points here, I guess, because guys are kind of having trouble figuring out where the guy in front of them is going to lift or brake.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Everybody's trying to race too hard this early, and they're not paying attention to the braking points, and I think that's where these cautions are coming from. People not expecting the checkups and stuff. They're focused too hard on racing their race.
Yeah, it's a marathon, not a sprint at this point. I like your strategy, so good luck to you the rest of the way.
I appreciate it.
Get him back down there with his teammates as we're going to be getting ready to go back to the green flag here in just a minute.
Skylar's got an awesome car, and I'll tell you why. It's a Ford Mustang, but he's got advertised on their GM Goodwrench service. So I guess he's since Ford doesn't need that much maintenance, they're advertising for the Chevrolet places too. So hey,
Well, I thought
all you Chevrolet drivers.
it was the opposite. I
Ford
thought the Fords were so bad they had to use GM maintenance.
No, that's not the case.
Oh,
You were mistaken, sir.
it must be. It doesn't matter. I mean, let's just put Harbor Freight on the side of all of them and let's call it a day. Because that's where they're made.
So English, you know what you have to do now, right?
What's
You,
that?
you have to make Adam Turner Harbor Freight paint schemes.
Ooh,
Oh,
yes. With some
that'll
Lone
be
Star
our,
beer too incorporated. That'd be a fun
Possibly.
new paint scheme right there.
That, and I also don't doubt that our friends, whether they're at JP Designs or DEP Graphics, are probably listening. How many times have we had DEP listen in and listen to some of our jokes and be like, "Here, check this out."
And then he puts something out there. Yeah,
the
that's
spy
cool.
balloon, the Bud Light.
I
Can.
forgot about the spy balloon.
Yeah.
Oh god,
Oh, we gotta put
That's-
the Bud Light can.
that
on
seems
on
like
the
30
website.
years ago. As far as
I know.
scandals go, yeah, just keep turning the page out there. News cycle is too quick nowadays, and there's a reason for that. Don't kid yourself.
Gotta find the Bud Light can.
Yes, sirree, as we get ready to jump back on out there for the green flag race in action, they go side by side, down and rumbling across the line, down towards turns 1 and 2. Zach Millett off to a great restart here. Once again, side by side, go the 66 and the 64. 64 machine up against that outside wall, trying to get that run, but the 66 isn't giving him any time here at all. Trying to keep on that podium spot that they're in. Right behind them, though, they're having a great battle as well. You also got Kevin Delia and Chris Klein having a little bit of a kerfuffle going on, battling for some top 5 spots. Larry Dickerson just kind of chilling out. He's racing against that Justin X Johnson racing machine, thus the X on the vehicle. See, it worked the other night because he was the 10 machine, but now he's the 34 in the Roman numeral for
Yeah, that's
34 is not-
XXXIV. Yeah.
I think it might be a little too large for
Yeah.
number schemes here, but either way, having a good run here tonight. Already up 5 spots for Justin Johnson. How about that for Russ Kilgore? Already up 13 here. Same thing for that 9 of Tommy Welsh. I know the Tommy Welsh fan club's out here strong tonight, up 21 spots, just outside of that top 15 right now.
Definitely out here pulling for him. Let's see what else we got out here.
Ooh, there's
Hello, Joe.
all in the back of the field here with Stephen Wood, Chuck Kiger, Stubblefield, and Campbell. They're moving around, fighting for position. Sorry, English. I just
Hey, you're
trying to
good,
point
man.
out some racing out there.
Yeah, Papa Joe Bennett's out there pulling for 00 Joe. Daniel Poachlock says, yep, every time. He's listening, definitely.
Nice. Getting real
Single filing
racy.
out here.
Well, in the back of the field, they are getting racy. I'm telling you, from 20 to 30,
Oh,
it's pretty fun
Don't-
back here.
Don't even need to go back that far. The one of DW and the 44, Dana Shepard, who's also got his fans out there, trying to put on some fantastic laps. You also got the 10 and the 76 machine going at it here as well.
Think we're going to see some fights tonight there, Adam?
I hope
Possibly.
so. I mean, somebody needs to
think?
go down. I'm about tired of all this nice stuff.
I'm tired of all the civility and all this
Somebody's
craziness.
asking about Robert Edgerton. He's out there in the 55, and what is he?
Back in
36.
Yeah,
right
36 right now. Up a couple spots. Still yet to get a little comfortable here at this track. He's trying to go side
lead lap?
by side with Jarrett Woodard right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He's still on the lead lap. And that's really what matters at this point, this early in the race.
That's all you need to be right now. And I was listening in earlier, Derek Welch. He's unlike the term "snitches get stitches." If he's telling people to snitch on the other drivers if they're doing bad, he may even reward them. I think it might be like some kind of scheme he's got to to pay the snitches, you know, like, what is that, Crime Stoppers or whatever?
I was thinking like, remember the movie Serpico?
Yeah, I
Where
do.
he's the only one that didn't take money.
Yeah, so snitches are allowed over here tonight. And
I don't know what I'm talking
I'm just joking a little bit. Derek will probably get mad about that, but
Yeah.
No,
I thought it was
he
funny.
don't get mad about much. Only
That's true. Not at
Derek
us. He gets
hate
mad
us.
at the drivers.
only when your PGA game crashes while he's already up a couple and you hit a bad spot and then all of a sudden your game crashed, disconnected. Oh, we have to restart. Aw.
Hey,
yeah.
that man, he'll get fired up about some stuff though.
Yeah, he does.
Don't tease Derek about the wrong stuff.
Yeah,
He'll berate you.
I might get suspended for a race. I like this race tonight, Brown. I don't know what y'all think, but it's actually pretty good racing.
Yeah, it's been pretty solid here tonight. As we also had the 32 and Nick Biddy out here driving around with the driver camera on up as well. He's currently a few laps down, but that's all right. Still plenty of time to make those on up. Just needs a couple more cautions. And we're getting a squeeze play here as he goes around. Oh, good save there from going completely around for that 32 machine. But that was a little of a tight squeeze and some checkup going on back there.
Yeah, we got Ryan Mahadio, I guess that's how you say it, joining us in the chat with some interesting comments saying, caution cars and thing. And then he says, I'm an eagle. I'm blue coats. And then he says, Canadian infected me with cancers. I'm dying. Sorry to hear that, Ryan.
That's interesting. I don't know how that works. I mean, we love our Canadian friends here at AAA Broadcasting. I don't know. Is there any? There's no Canadians tonight, right? Jared Woodward.
Is he?
That's what it shows on my
Yeah.
SDK. God save the Queen.
In the meantime, you got a interesting battle going on around here for top 20 spot. Got the 5 of Anthony Williams side by side with a 13. Jonathan Hammond, Stephen Wood, and the 19 machine all clumped on up here. I think this is kind of where the point in the tire where everyone's starting to kind of be where they're kind of just gonna be here for a little bit of this race as things start to really clump back up.
So you're gonna have to split it right into thirds.
That'd be the goal.
Three
I
total
think.
tires. 3 total sets of tires.
Well, we're coming up onto lap 40 now.
Yeah.
13 hard into the back of the 4 machine Hunt Brothers Pizza. But square. So, I mean, nobody lost any control there. We're seeing a lot of that tonight.
Hunt Brothers. That's not a terrible pizza. You know, that's out in the rural
I don't think
areas.
I've ever had that.
Yeah, I have. It's out here.
Gas station pizza, is that what it is?
Yeah, pretty much. It's in the rural communities.
I may have.
Oh, there goes one around up into the outside wall. 7 to Tristan Cotton. Everyone's trying to avoid here. That is going to cause a caution, and just a couple cars getting magnetized out there.
I think I heard anger.
Chuck Kiger and Tristan Cotton with a meeting of the minds out there.
Meeting of the quarter panels as well, I think.
I think you may be right. Let's head on up into our race chopper camera and kind of see what happened here. Is 22 machine looked like he was getting a run up on the outside lane. The 7 just kept drifting on up, and quarter panels not quite lining up on that one in the 7 machine. It just gets kind of wedged between the wall and 22 and essentially ground down that entire front end up on that outside wall.
Oh, it sounded terrible, like nails on a chalkboard. Oh, it sounded awful. They're all coming down though. This will be the first tire stop. Looks like, and fuel,
free
obviously.
Stop, yeah.
Yeah, it's a freebie. Perfect timing too, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Don't want to. Do not want to waste a good opportunity to get some tires, get some fuel, and get back out on the racetrack here. As some people doing the big old pit road shuffle.
Ryan commenting again, saying, caution car again. Lightning bolt. Lightning bolt.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he was... Is that RPG thing? Is he casting lightning bolt? Or...
It's Lightning McQueen. He can't race no more.
Okay.
He retired, so he's the pace car.
I
He
got
did.
Yeah, you didn't see Cars 3?
I guess I didn't.
I didn't see any of
I
it.
don't watch propaganda usually. I just keep moving on down the road.
It's a kid's cartoon or something,
it's-
Adam. It's not
it's-
propaganda.
There's propaganda involved. I guarantee you.
Oh, okay. I didn't know
I
that.
just, I'll have to talk to you off air about that.
What type are they? Go dirt track racing. They've got some.
Yeah, it's wholesome.
They got some demo derby out there.
Yeah. Yeah, I won't go into the propaganda involved, but I believe there could be some inside that film. But hey, everybody has a choice. You watch what you watch and enjoy it. And
I don't know if you've heard that, Alan. You might have heard this, like the fan theory that Cars is set like in the future after the apocalypse, and they become self-aware, and there's no more humans anymore.
kind of like the AI Chat GPT thing, huh?
Yeah,
that's
what
weird.
happened. I think.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
I don't know if you've heard that theory.
Yahtzee.
I had not.
Yeah. Like a post-apocalyptic future where cars become alive.
I don't. It's not really even a theory. It's just a thought. But it's just like, so cars are living beings, right? In the film, right? Mater is a tow truck, right, and lives in essentially a junkyard, right?
All right, I'm tracking you.
So he's living with essentially dead bodies.
Oh God, yeah. Never thought about that. He's living in like a morgue or a graveyard where they don't bury the pieces. That's strange.
Speaking,
I'm with you, Chris Jordan. I miss Kit also.
see, I really, me being a youngin here, on the in the broadcast, I didn't get to see the original, but there was a mini remake in the mid 2000s, I think it was.
Yeah,
and I thought
they
it was
changed
okay.
it to a Ford Mustang or something. I think. Yeah.
And I mean,
I
it was all
remember
right.
I never watched that one, but I saw previews to it.
Yeah, Donna, that's the point. Exactly the point I was getting to.
Yeah. And Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, that was a smart car as well.
Hey, that one wasn't. That movie wasn't for me. I think I saw it once and said, nah. Well, in the meantime, these drivers getting all lined back on up side by side here. 315 and the 64 machine. Gonna get things all kicked on off here once again from up here at the front as that pace car dives on down into pit lane. And here we go. Getting all ready to go back to some rumbling and bumbling down across the line. Side by side they go. Green flag racing here once again with that 315 and the 64 still side by side. 315 breaking on free. Here comes that 66 of Drew Blaze putting the heat on Joe Hoggard here, looking up underneath him, trying to get that position away from the 64. Right there behind them, though, you have a pretty good battle between Albert Anderson. How about that for Albert? Up 27 spots here, fighting for some top 5 positions. Here comes the 53. Looks like he might be trying to filter on through the middle. That door closed pretty darn quick there. He's going to have to re-rack and reset on up. He's going to follow the 8 machine down in through turns 1 and 2. getting up underneath America's driver there. 53 Kevin Delia doing a pretty good job of it.
Yeah, man, these guys have been pretty aggressive on the restarts and shortly afterward, and trying to utilize that grip as best they can to try to get on the inside of the guys around them there and try to get around.
Yeah, what I missed, guys? Still rocking along?
Well, you missed. I guess Ginger Parent's a big Brewster Baker fan.
Oh, that's a great movie. I can't believe we have people that know what that is. That was my favorite. Those kids stealing everything.
Yeah, Diane
great.
Lane was in that too.
Oh, yes, she was. That's right in my wheelhouse back in the day. That's
Sure.
a great film. Great feature film. Ooh, three's around. Guess he didn't hit anybody there.
Oh, yeah, Chris Muth Jr. There's a little bit of a tie-up there. 7 Tristan Cotton had to dive on down into the infield grass to avoid all that. AJ Evangelista looked like he had to get checked up on for it as well. So everybody trying their best to filter on through. Still green flag racing out here. Meanwhile, the 3 and the trying to get around the 55 machine. And now here comes the 7 machine trying to get around the 55. Chris Goins in the 28 machine trying to catch on up to that tail end of the 9 of Tommy Welsh. Looks like he's going to do so with a big ol' run, moving on down to that bottom side, and looks like he will get that position away.
48 had to come in, meatball flag to get some mandatory damage repair, and he used his fast repair, and he's off and running.
That's what they're for, but you only have one here
Yep.
tonight, so use it wisely.
Well, he had some big damage in that green flag incident that it was on the track. We heard several guys yelling out, big wreck, big wreck, big wreck, but most of it was not in front of other traffic, or it was below the racing line, so that's the reason iRacing didn't throw the caution flag.
Yeah, look here tonight. America's driver, Albert Anderson, has a totally different paint scheme that we're not used to seeing.
What's he got on that 329?
I don't know, but it's red, white, and blue, so it looks amazing.
He's
Harpoon something.
sliding backwards through this field here. The 13 of Jonathan Hammond made it on through. Now the 44 Dana Shepard. Oh, man, even 00 Joe is starting to filter on through in his Florida Highway Patrol or Sheriff, or I don't know which one he's got. He's got something to deal with Florida on there.
Let me see what he's got there.
Oh, it's the Sheriff.
Yeah, it's a good-looking paint scheme,
Remember when they
too.
had the law enforcement support night? Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was one of the guys that ran an awesome law enforcement support paint job there.
I forgot to change it. That's fine. We will still honor that.
There you
Right
go.
on.
Gone, but not forgotten on the back end of that
Yeah,
sheriff
40
machine.
48 of Skylar Herod coming on down onto pit lane here, doing some green flag pit stops. I don't know what's going on there for him.
Penalty.
Oh.
Meanwhile, that
Yes,
315.
he did. He had a black flag. That's why.
Ooh.
Oh, he did, didn't he?
Meanwhile, that 315 of Zach Millett out in front, right behind him. The 64 of Joe Hoggard, Drew Blaze there as well, just kind of lurking in that background. Oh man, Hoggard using every inch of that track as possible, and almost gets up into that outside wall. Oh, almost does it again. Goodness.
Close quarters. It might look like a wide track out there, but you quickly run out of room pretty quick.
Well, just people abusing their tires, I think, is part of it.
Sure.
And it's super old track, old, racing surface, abrasive.
Old
We talked about.
commentators.
I
You
think-
got that going on.
I think we need to, instead of a swear jar, we're going to have to call it a sure jar. Every time English says sure, you need to put a dollar.
Sure.
Yeah. That's one beer for me every time you do it, eh?
No.
Yeah. And then, Brown, what do you want?
Oh, I'm good.
Good Brown. Oh, good
I'll
Brown.
just come up with something else. Okay.
Ooh, almost some
Yeah.
contact there between the 18 and the 71 machine.
Oh, again.
Oh, goodness. I swear, some of these cars have magnets in them, man, and sometimes they repel, sometimes they attract, and either way, it turns out to be some fun racing action going on out there. Same thing with the 03 and the 4 going side by side here, down and through turns 3 and 4. The 8 machine, ooh, getting a rough run off of the corner there. He's going to lose more than just the 1 position, as it looks like 34 and the 1 machine making their way on through. Now here comes that 71 with the 18 close in tow. Same thing with the 28 of Chris Goins and the 76 of Ottinger. Everybody getting all tied on up here once again.
Yeah, the Simple Green machine out there running that Highline in that Ford Mustang. That's a great product, Simple Green.
It's my favorite part of the race were my iRacing crashes.
Again?
Boy. Yeah, it's
The Packard Bell 386 is not meant
it's a
to run
Commodore
iRacing.
65. I thought
Oh,
they was
65.
yeah, I thought it would work, you guys, but I have to load back in. Y'all
You
keep
forgot
it
to
going.
push your turbo button to make the processor run.
Something's not working right around here.
No, I saw a good battle there between 00 Joe and the 19 of Stephen M. Wood driving the icy machine out there. Absolutely, I used to really love those. Of course, you know, we'd be going to the Costco or the Sam's Club, you know, on a Saturday or something like that, and that was my like, hey, sorry we drug you out shopping. Here's something to make you shut up.
When I was a kid, we'd go to 7-Eleven, and I'd always say, "Mom, can I have an icy?" And she said, "No, we have Coke at home," because it had the Coca-Cola flavored ones and then the Kool-Aid flavored ones. We have that at home already.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding. Sometimes we get some.
occasionally when they had change in the ashtray, but the ashtray was
Oh,
full
yeah.
in the
Oh, going-
Buick we had.
3 wide here for a split second. 8 being kind of the meat in the sandwich there. Of course, the 8 being the 303 of Dylan Bryant. So, pretty good green flag run these guys got going on here. Of course, now I say that.
Yeah,
Our
James
ashtrays
was
and our trucks and stuff were full of cigarettes.
That's what I mean. If we didn't
there
have
was no change in there.
no, I don't even know where they kept the change back then. They had it. I guess they had
I
the
don't know.
coin purse, little coin purse. Remember?
Yeah, the
Those
little
little things.
rubber thing
Yeah.
that looked like a
there was
little rubber thing.
nothing
It
but
is-
cigarette smoking coming out of that green Buick.
Oh yeah, and my parents wouldn't roll it; they just cracked the window. So yeah, I was in a fog most of my childhood.
I was too.
But you know, my newer truck, I bought a truck in 2019. It didn't even have an ashtray in it. It doesn't.
That's a
A
shame.
lot of they don't come with ashtrays anymore.
Shouldn't
Well, I
this
don't need
America?
it. You know, I'm not a smoker, but
I know. It's your choice.
Most of them don't even come with one of those electric cigarette lighters now either.
no, it has the 12-volt power port, but it doesn't have the little push-in lighter. Yep, you're right.
Those things come in handy. You can cook a little beef stew on that thing. Get you a big old can of Dinty Moore.
Ooh, Dinty Moore. That's rough.
I've cooked some stuff on a exhaust manifold of a Mack truck before in tinfoil.
Well, sure, in foil, I mean, I understand that. I think most of us have. Remember when we could smoke on a plane? That was
Wow.
cool.
Nah,
Yeah.
that was before me.
Yeah, we flew we got tickets to go somewhere one time. They took us on family vacation, but they bought the cheap seats in, it was like 8 years old, in the smoking section, you know, because it's cheaper back there.
Yeah.
Look at Hayes smoking an airplane.
Did you fly Braniff? I mean,
It might have been Braniff, actually. Eastern Airlines, I don't know. Some defunct airplane.
Chris Jordan talking about the 55 machine out there. If the 55 could just stay out of trouble, Chris thinks that he'd have a good shot, at least like a top 10. The 55 he's talking about out there, of course, Robert Edgerton, who's still on the lead lap so far here. The last car on the lead lap, but hanging in there.
And a 92 of Timothy Stubblefield making his way past the 6 of Joe David here. It's He's now catches on up to the 22 of Chuck Kiger, trying to get a few more positions. 33 of the Gambler, Paul Ferdiani, going side by side here with the 5 of Anthony Williams, trying to filter his way back on up through this field.
You got the Gambler, and Papa Joe says the 00 Joe Bennett is the Lawman. So you got the Gambler and you got the Lawman up there.
All right.
And Dylan,
Tell you what, though, a lot of cool paint schemes tonight, Brown. I don't know. You got to showcase too many of them because there's so much happening out here.
I know, man, there's a whole bunch of them. You got Scott Milner in the 2 machine having a little bit of a rough night here tonight, but he's inside that top 20 right now, trying to slowly ease his way back up this field. That 19 Icy Machine, Stephen M. Wood's been running pretty good here, trying to get around that 8 of Dylan Bryant. Looks like he is able to do so. The number 1 Bogus Machine, DW, trying to catch back on up to the X, Racer X. Justin Johnson up there in that 34, trying to pick up a few more spots. Man, how about that for Russ Kilgore? We already knew he got some talent, especially in those trucks. We've seen him in a couple different leagues there, running those trucks pretty on well. But he's up 16 spots here tonight, up into 6, having a solid race.
Yeah, Chris Goins too there. I don't know if you talked about him recently, that driver of the 28 machine. Chris really making tracks out there, making up lots of spots out there right behind DW right now. Tell you what, Zach Millett's still the class of the field out here, just running around, making it look easy, just maintaining a 3/4 second gap on Joe Hoggard in the 64.
Well, right behind him in the 66, I mean the one, we don't know what number he is, Drew Blaze. He's got a heck of a paint scheme. I like it. He's got the wrong number on there. He's having a good night though.
At that, he is having a fantastic run. Been solidly up in that top 3 pretty much all race long. Here comes the 9 of Tommy Welch, trying to get up underneath, almost getting up into the 71 of Blaine Woodruff there, but able to keep it on off of him. In the meantime, here comes that 44 Dana Shepard, trying to lurk on through. Same thing with the 76 of Jeff Ottinger. So we still got some passing going on here as we're a little bit past the halfway point here in this race from Nashville Super Speedway. We're going to take a quick step aside, refill our beverages, and get everybody up to speed and up and running here. So we'll be back in just a few with the remainder of this fantastic race we got going here from Nashville Super Speedway. And welcome back as the race in action continues to roll on here at Nashville Super Speedway in this Numb Thumbs Racing League race here, brought to you by JP Designs. Thank you guys for jumping on board here to sponsor this race. We did have a change in positions here. Drew Blaze had a good couple lap battle there with 64 of Joe Hoggard and picked up that spot there. In the meantime, we've also had some racing going on throughout this entire field. 13 Jonathan Heyman been chasing down that 44 of Dana Shepard, now getting on around him as well. Stephen Wood in that 19 machine, getting back to the 8 machine of Dylan Brandt. Sean Walton there as well in the 10 machine, mark the 23. So some good action still yet to be had out here. Meanwhile, I think we're starting to see that second round of pit stops here, boys.
Yeah, you called it there, Adam. You knew it was coming up soon here, and here you're seeing it, guys, coming down for that last set of tires and big old swig of fuel.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to cut into the thirds, this is the time now. Do you want to wait and see if somebody causes a crash, or are you going to run it out of fuel? It's really up to you at this point. This is where strategy comes into play. They call it the money stop, and really, this is what is going to determine who wins this race, probably this final pit stop, if we're going to continue to go green like we are.
Well, at this point, I'd try to get as much fuel out of that tank as I can before coming down to get tires, because you never know. You might catch a lucky break and get a yellow flag here on guys exiting and entering, and that way you'll have fresher tires than the guys that are pitting now when it comes down to checker flag time.
Man, Derek Welch is having a battle in front of him that he's trying to get around. That's pretty interesting. Derek Welch is sitting there in 8th. Russ Kilgore behind him in 9th. Good stuff happening out there.
Oh, that there is side-by-side trade and a little bit of pain out there.
Yeah.
Goes the 28 and the 34.
Yeah, a little scrubbing doors there. And, this is going to continue. Will it stay civil, or will it?
I hope not.
I hope not.
Ooh, one of the leaders drops on down. He's not going to wait for that possible caution here. 66 Drew Blaze dropping on down into pit road for his possible final pit stop of the evening.
He fought so hard to get around Joe Hoggard, and now he's going to go ahead and come on down. Not going to take any chances here, and I think he's hoping that he'll get back out on the track kind of on his own, where he can just race the racetrack and not have to worry about these other drivers here for a little while.
Man, that indeed. But, man, look at this cluster going on around that kind of from top 10 on in. I mean, Chris Klein, Russ Kilgore, DW, Justin Johnson, Kevin Delia. Everybody having a big old battle there. It's the 33 machine who did pit for those new set of tires. Man, just look at him rip that upper lane, just flying by those guys.
One in the grass there on the front stretch. I'm going to have to go back and catch that.
My camera wanted to change. I
think it was Delia, and he got down into the pits somehow.
Oh, it is Kevin Delia, 53 machine.
Black flagged for unsafe. That was dangerous there. Oh my goodness! Shuffling
Edgerton.
back through. Oh my Lord!
That was threading the needle right there.
Whew. If you ever thought there was, the speed difference here on new and old tires, it really ain't that bad. Well, just go look at that as he just zoop right on through.
Yeah, and that was Robert Edgerton that went through the grass to get into the pits. That was strange,
Okay.
but worked out. He did hit the other car on pit road. No big deal. Everything's green. Let's keep moving.
DW all over the back end of Chris Gones here. The 1 and the 28 battling it out here. That is for 4th place.
DW is relentless tonight.
Yeah, it sounds like both of those cars are pitting this time.
Probably smart. Get
So the
together.
cars behind him are going high.
And that indeed is. There they come on down into pit road. Also had Zach Millett drop on down into the pits, getting his pit stop up underway. That's going to give the lead to that 64 of Hoggard, who I think we've seen enough races where Hoggard, he typically stays out until the very last possible moment, or at least waits for the leader to pit first. And here he comes. 64 machine making that dive on down. Same thing with the 69 of Larry Dickerson coming on down into pit lane. So the 18 of Chris Klein getting some bonus points here for leading the lap.
I believe the Tristan Cotton, I think he got busted for speeding coming down the pit lane because he's still sitting in his pit box with a black flag being waved. We'll see if they'll let him go, get back out there.
Ooh, Joe David just got split down the middle. He's a little slower. I guess he's on older tires. The 6. Man.
Yeah, that he is. Chris Klein coming on down into the pits now as well. So about 30 laps left to go. Green flag pit stops underway. It is definitely getting chaotic out there on the racetrack. Having to keep those heads on a swivel here. Keep that F3 black box up. And just paying attention to what's going on in your surroundings right now. How about the 92? Tim Stubblefield still needs to come on down for his pit stop, but right now running in third. Chuck Kiger out there in front of him. Same thing with the 03/8 of Dylan Bryant out there as well. Chris Muth Jr., Mark Collins, the Mac Daddy, still racing around out there up a few spots, trying to hope for a lucky caution here late. The problem is, the longer they wait, the more laps they're probably going to go down by the time they do actually come back in.
Edgerton speeding in the pits is going to have to come back around and serve a penalty. Heartbreak for the 55. He was already a couple of laps down.
I think really that could have been the unsafe pit entry, how he came off the grass there. Nonetheless, still a black flag.
That pit road is a tricky one. It's not one of the more notorious ones for trying to get on in there. The problem is that speed limit, man. Oh, it's a 71. Man, he's just getting beat up on by the 28 machine.
He's having fun out there, though. You can hear him on the radio. He's enjoying himself.
Hey, he's probably going to need to use some simple green on those.
On the seat cover, at least.
Yeah, man, because that 28 really had that 71 machine really breaking loose there, and he was snapping it back right back into it, and everybody is A-OK. Dylan Bryant making the dive on down into pit road. Still just a couple of people left yet to hit their pit box. 22 of Kiger, Stubblefield in that 92. Mark Collins, Chris Muth have yet to come down as well. I think they're pretty much the only holdouts here. Albert Anderson last pitted on lap 67, so he's good for a while longer.
Now Mark Collins in that Sim Gear Central number 45 machine, holding out as long as he can here. Hoping for that yellow so he can come down and just get a freebie. Get some fresh tires and get back out there and hopefully save some track position. Eventually you get to the point where everybody else is already pitted, so track position, you're not really going to gain that much on the next pit stop.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can already see it. I mean, Drew Blaze, he pitted and he's already made that lap back on up, and he's already right there trying to filter on through some of this traffic. Gets out around the 22 machine. So the 66, Drew Blaze, picking up that number 1 spot here, filtering on through the traffic, and he's off to the races.
Ooh, almost some contact with the 22. I think that was the 17.
I'll tell you what, 22's had a target on him here the last lap or so. He's had contact with a couple of drivers.
Really has.
And you can see there in the background as well, you got the 315 Zach Millett trying to catch on up here once again. Of course, just a little differential in the strategies on out there. Millet being just absolute dominant all race long, now having to put in some work to catch on up to Drew Blaze up there in the front.
Well, he's working on Kiger right now. Makes quick work of the 22. Yeah, he'll catch up to Blaze in no time here.
Meanwhile,
Well, guys out there in YouTube land, if you like what you see, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button for us. Doesn't cost a thing, and it helps us reach more people. And subscribe if you haven't already. We're damn near to 400 subscribers. That's all thanks to y'all. So thank y'all so much.
Yeah, make sure you hit the button. I mean, that does stuff for us. Zuckerberg and Gates fellas, they don't really care for iRacing in general, I don't think.
Well, it helps the league and helps the sponsors. You know, that's really what we're trying to do here. We're trying to uplift some of these leagues that deserve it.
and meanwhile, still side by side go the 53 and the 18. Been following this one for a couple laps now, and they have yet to part ways. Man, oh man, the 18 of Chris Klein. Oh, thought he was getting a run down there on that bottom side. He's going to go and try to use that apron, shorten up that racetrack just a little bit. But man, they're still side by side. For Russ Kilgore sitting behind him, being like, boys, can we figure this one out? I need to trickle on by here.
Less than 20 laps to go now. Here we go, fellas. This is my favorite part of the race, when it's coming down to the home stretch and the aggression starts to ramp on up. Guys start getting desperate, trying to get that extra position, that extra point. And they'll spin their own grandma. They'll do it.
Oh, you know they will do it. Meanwhile, the 18, which is marked the 51 machine, still side by side with that 53.
Crash my own teammate right at this point.
Yeah, I've seen you do it. Joe Hoggard in the 48. 64 48 had a little. Ooh, they swapped paint right there. I don't know how they hung on to it.
Talent.
48 of Herod coming down the pits for damage inflicted from that contact with the 64, and then the greater contact there with the concrete wall.
Meanwhile, even though we split away from the action, still going. Delia and Clyde. I think they're trying to set like a world record for the longest side-by-side racing.
Right.
Because they have yet to give each other an inch here. And I think finally Chris Clyde, no, again, just can't get the power down coming out of the corner. That high side just gets too much of a run. And they're just going to meet right back on up there once again.
Love the Martin Sports sponsor on that one truck. I can't find it again now. And then Kevin Delia in the 53 there, Skybox. Those guys fighting it out. I love this battle.
You got to feel for Russ Kilgore at this point, because he's been sitting here patient, just waiting for somebody to pick up the spot. He's ready to go. Just there ain't nowhere to go, as finally it gets all cleared on out. The 18 machine does finally get out in front of Kevin Delia there, but man, talk about a fantastic battle that went on over there.
Okay, the 18. I was looking at the number going, what number is that? I thought it was 81, but I was looking at the roof.
It's another one of those it don't match kind of things. And
Oh, the no match. 22 Chuck Kiger is still on older tires. How long can he hold out? Looks like he just had an off track.
oh, he's down into the grass. I wonder if he was trying to come on down into pit road and just miss that entrance again. Super slow down there on pit road. It's like a 40-mile-an-hour pit lane speed here.
Oh, they hit him with the black flag too.
Yeah, rough pit entry there for the 22 machine. The 19, Stephen Wood, trying to make his presence known here once again. Filter on through some of this traffic. Oh, slipping and sliding up into the outside wall. Oh my goodness, that was a hard impact.
Who's the hard impact?
I don't know. I couldn't see the number. I hate these cars. You can't see their damn numbers anymore. You know, that used to be nice and big on the side, and you could actually well, now you can't.
Yeah, all in the name of let's get NASCAR more sponsors on the car. I don't know, or in special places, I guess. I'm not sure. It's Harbor Freight out there anyway.
My goodness, the negativity.
Meanwhile, up here battling for the race lead, 315 and the 66 went side by side, but there goes the 315. Clear on through. The 66 did all he could with 11 laps to go now, but just a little bit too much to ask for. Here comes the 19 machine trying to get a lap back the hard way.
Jessica Stubblefield has an interesting question for us, and I think we should let the fans answer it as well. It says you have one NASCAR driver to race for you on here. Who do you pick? You get extra points if the driver's the last 10, 15 years. Oh, that's a rough one, dude. It depends on what track it is. Like, the track here? Oh, man. That's a hard question to answer. If it has to be the track here, I want to pick somebody recent. If it's Atlanta or something, I'd pick...
somebody that angers people, Ross Chastain. Kyle Busch. Yeah. A couple of my favorite drivers. I like the people everybody hates.
Yeah, I'd have to go with maybe a Harvick or something on an intermediate like this.
Yeah, he's old now.
Well,
maybe in his heyday. In his heyday, Jimmy Johnson would probably destroy this track.
Probably, yeah. That's probably a good one.
Changed tracks because of that guy.
I don't know. As much as he berates his pit crew and kind of a jerk to people and stuff, I'd have to still go with maybe like a Kevin Harvick. Rebecca Davis says Ricky Bobby.
Yeah, that'd be a good one too.
Man, I would think Mark Martin would probably have a pretty good run here.
I bet Mark Martin would kill here. I bet he would do good. Ginger Parent says Cale Yarborough.
Oh, that's old. That's
a good one.
Past 10 or 15 years ago, but
they don't get the extra credit, but hey, they like the movie Six Pack, so I say give them the extra credit.
Yeah.
Man.
Oh, there's Earl. Said let's go sponsors. Welcome, Earl. Good to see you, brother. Ricky Bobby. That's a good one. Got everybody laughing in the chat.
Meanwhile, for Russ Kilgore, who got a little bit jealous there between the battle between Klein and Delia there, he's now trying to maybe go for a tie for the longest side-by-side going on out here. Oh, he's going to run into some traffic there. A little bit of a pick maneuver using the 33 machine. And he filters on through. 6 laps left remaining. A whole bunch of racing around the top 10 still going on. But in the meantime, up at the front, Zach Millett opening up a 2.5 or so lead right now over Drew Blaze, who's well clear of Joe Hogger. We're talking well over 7 seconds now. And so he's just trying to get that car to the end. And just maybe, a lap traffic could get involved here with the 315. I don't think that's going to happen here. But with 5 laps to go, you never know, as that 53 and the 13 going side by side.
Jessica says Tony Stewart. That's a pretty good answer. Tony probably do pretty well here.
Yeah.
Good rough track. Yeah.
But it don't have
coming
dirt.
Down good. Do you think we're going to finish this thing under green? It looks like we just might here. Look at the lead that Zach Millett has.
Yeah, he's tearing it up at the moment.
Right, that he ends as these drivers continue to go almost 3 wide there. It looked like it was going to go for just a split second between the 71, the 8, and the 13, but everyone electing to hold off on the patient meter.
I want to change my answer from from Kevin Harvick to Zach Millett.
What about Jeff Gordon?
What about him?
He was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zach Millett. He's having a heck of a run here. He's owning it.
Yeah, that he is. 3 laps left to go now. Having a little battle here for some final top 10 spots. Dana Shepard, Kevin Delia going side by side back down across the line. The 44 machine getting a little bit better of a run as he's got about 4 lap fresher tires than that 53 machine. And normally we would say, 4 laps, it don't mean anything. Well, here I think 4 laps actually means a little bit of something. Meanwhile, Zach Millett comes back down across the line, down the back straightaway now. 2 laps to go, getting ready to take that white flag for the final lap of this race.
Here we go, boys. I feel it building. I think we just might pull this off and finish under green here.
And I think you may be right there, Mr. English, as down across the line, white flag is waving. No more cautions here this evening. Down into turns 1 and 2 goes that Millett Mallet, just absolutely hammering his way around here at Nashville Super Speedway. Down the back straightaway into turns 3 and 4 for the final time. Absolutely nobody left in this county right behind him. Coming out of turn number 4 and picking up the race win here tonight, Zach Millett in the 315.
Great job by Zach out there, putting on a freaking clinic. Joe Hoggard and Drew Blaze, what a great race for those 2 guys as well. Trading places there a couple of times. And just some of these guys great at working their way through traffic. We did see a lot of that here tonight.
Ooh, close finish for the 10th spot there between the 8 and the 44. But the 44 Dana Shepard just picking up that final top 10 spot. So a solid run for the Shepard machine. But how about that 28 of Chris Gones, up 29 spots? He's going to be your hard charger here tonight, finishing up in that top 5.
Well, that's pretty good. Joe Hoggard got knocked into the wall after the race, and he's upset that he got some incident points. I don't know. They was mad about it, but he's still in third
hopefully
place.
that doesn't affect his finish.
No,
here.
it's not going to affect his finish. I think he
Okay.
had a clean
All right.
race total. We'll have to ask him about it.
Well, explain to the people at home, Adam.
Oh no, here we go. I'm not in the mood for a Norm Macdonald routine at the time. Routine right now.
Norm Macdonald. Explain to the folks at home who Norm Macdonald was.
He was the guy that really kind of shot it straight, and he ticked a lot of people off, and while doing so. However, it was funny.
Yes.
And it was, as we wait for these drivers to do whatever screenshots that they got to do and join us up here in that podium race chat.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Derek Donna out there saying, great race, Dana. Dana Shepard with a decent finish right there and taking that top 10, as you mentioned there, Mr. Brown. Great race had by a bunch of these cats. 17 cars finished on the lead lap. Sean Walton in the 10 machine, the last one to finish on that lead lap. Jeff Ottinger, who it's good to see him racing again. We hadn't talked much about Jeff here lately, but back in the 76 machine.
Yeah, that indeed. Well, down there on the podium, ready for a chat is quite a few people, but we'll start things on off here tonight with get my buttons right, with the second place finisher, gonna be the 66 machine of Mr. Drew Blaze, getting a solid podium finish here tonight. And Drew, it was just one of those nights, man, where you could kind of tell who your top few drivers were going to be between you and Zach and Joe. It was just a matter of who was going to come out on top, and you gave it all you got, but I think you might have run out of tires just a little bit there towards the end.
Yeah. Tried to do the strategy, and I took 2 tires around the last pit stop, and um, I had enough there at the beginning of the run, but it just fell off too much towards the end. I think I made my move too early.
Well, the JBM Mustang was definitely on it out there tonight, and looked like you guys were having a lot of fun out there. I know the difference in speed on new tires versus old tires kind of made lap traffic a challenge out there. Is that kind of your view of it as well? Did y'all have some problems with some kind of trying to get around some slower traffic?
Yeah, it was definitely scary weaving through some traffic there. I had some close calls myself, but we made it work, and I know I lost some time going through traffic there, but I still wasn't gonna hold off Millie in the end.
Well, I mean, you finished in second, so that's a great job tonight. Who'd you like to give some shout outs to?
Yeah, let's give a shout out to my team, Lone Star Racing, Garza Law Firm, Justin Johnson, Mike Fahey, everybody who supports me day in and day out. Thank you guys for all the great broadcasts that you do. And yeah, that's it.
Awesome, man. Well, congratulations to Drew Blaze in the 66 machine, getting a solid second place finish here tonight, man. Been a pretty solid run, and we can't wait to see what you guys have in action for us here coming up next week.
Can't wait. Thank you.
That Blaze was on fire tonight.
Man, he was indeed. You're stealing my thunder here, Alan. Come on.
I'm sorry.
I'm the pun man.
Oh, okay. All right. I gotta learn my place, I guess.
Fun.
Meanwhile, up here for the race win, Mr. Zach Millett in the 315 machine, bringing it on home. Zach, congratulations, having a fantastic run out there. It was kind of one of those, we kind of knew who the top 3 was going to be, what finishing order, couldn't quite tell until about halfway through the race, and then you just absolutely tore away from everybody there.
Man, I was sweating it because I don't have a lot of practice in these cars, so I was talking to the guys before the race. I don't know how the tires wear, how these things are in long runs. So I was actually private messaging Drew and congratulating him in advance because he's always fast in these things. And when he came out of pit road there, that last stop, I thought for sure it was his. And did he take 2? I think he took 2.
Looks like he took 2. Yep.
Yeah. I was thinking he took 4, and I was surprised I caught him because he's always fast.
Well, that S4 guy Chevrolet Camaro, very fast out there as always, putting on a clinic. I'm sure guys will be watching this replay once they know that Nashville's coming back up on the schedule again, just to see what kind of line you ran and everything. But talk a little bit about Atlanta. Atlanta's coming up next week. After the repave, it runs so much like our true super speedway, not really like here, but I mean like a restrictor plate super speedway. You guys looking forward to that?
Yeah, I better delete the stream before we get to Nashville again, that's for sure. But Atlanta, I've got horrible luck there, man. I've never had a good finish at the new track. So it's it's kind of restrictor plate racing, but a little more advanced, I'm horrible there, so I like the old Atlanta better if I were to choose, but we'll go out there and give it hell and hope for the best.
Well, you weren't horrible tonight here in Nashville. Great job tonight. Fun race. You took, basically ran away with it there at the end, it seemed like. Who would you like to give some shout outs to?
I got to thank you guys at AAA Broadcasting, Numb Thumbs Gaming, and DW for all they do. League is awesome. Stephen Light for not being here. I was kind of hoping we'd get to race it out tonight. He's fast. I'm always looking forward to racing him. I got to thank Track Bar Media, Eric Dotson, State Farm Castle Products, all the guys over at HBR, HBRTV.com, or HBRTV1.com before Steve yells at me, HBRShops.com, and shoot me a follow over on Twitch. We stream tonight. It's at that S4 guy.
Awesome job. Well, Zach Millett, your race winner here tonight in dominant fashion indeed, man. Congratulations, and we can't wait to see you guys back out here in action next week.
Thanks, man. Catch you later.
And with that, we have one more interview to do here this evening, and that is with tonight's third place finisher, the 64 machine, Mr. Joe Hoggard, with a solid run here tonight. Starting up there in third and finishing in third, having a great run here, Joe. It's started off a little bumpy, a few little cautions here and there, but man, once when things opened on up, you can just kind of tell like it was the Joe, Drew, and Zach show here this evening.
Man, Zach, it was a great race all around from start to finish with Zach and Drew. I honestly think the second run, I was trying so hard to get past Zach because I was tired of riding his bumper so long that I burnt my stuff up, and that's when I started to fall back towards Drew. Which, I mean, honestly, that was my fault. I probably should have been a little bit more patient. But I also didn't want to move Zach because I don't see a point in doing that at the beginning of a season and causing an enemy. So I wanted to race him as clean as I possibly could. And then Drew just pulled out the stop on the strategy to put himself ahead of me. There was nothing I could do at that point. Other than that, I ran as close to a perfect race as I feel like I could run today, with the exception of just burning up my stuff on that second run. It was a great time, though. I had a great time.
See, and here's the thing. You could play that strategy game like he did, and it worked out for him. But, one little hiccup, one little yellow flag or something, and all that plan goes out the window, and you would have had a pretty solid chance at winning this race here.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was honestly contemplating really hard pushing it until I ran out of fuel. Because I knew at that point, Zach and Drew and maybe a few others were going to get their laps back and maybe even catch me. But then I would have the fresher tires. But exactly. I was kind of reading off of what Zach did. And I was like, at this point, Drew's been in for so long. I kind of already knew if a caution didn't come out, I wasn't catching Drew. He pulled it off. But at that point, it was just too late for me to pit. And I was really hoping for a caution. But, it is what it is, and I'll take a third place, especially after the rough start that I had last week. Or 2 weeks ago,
Man, all that brain power, I thought we were just turning left and hitting the gas. See, folks, there's a lot of brains involved in racing, and you used yours tonight. At least you got yourself a podium. I think you had a hell of a race, and you should be proud of that. Who would you like to thank going forward?
DEP Racing. He's been great to me. He's been really great to me. He makes all my paints, except for the one that I'm currently racing, actually, because I didn't realize that I'd forgotten to change it. My teammates, it's been great having somebody in the ear, kind of seeing what's going on behind, and then hopefully Steven is back next week, so I can kind of see what he's doing, because I do think he's a touch quicker than me on just pure pace. But yeah, looking forward to continuing on the season.
Awesome, man. Well, great job there done by Mr. Joe Hoggard up there, having a fantastic run here this evening, finishing in third place, man. Congratulations, and we look forward to seeing all the great racing action coming up here next week.
Thank you.
And with that closes out all the driver interviews here tonight, and boy, oh boy, that was a solid run that we had here this evening. We even had probably the longest green flag run of side-by-side racing action that I think we've ever seen.
Yeah, we haven't seen a run like that in a long time. And, with a field this big, 39 cars starting this race here, or 38 cars starting this race here tonight. Just amazing that they were able to get so many green flag laps in. We did have a few hiccups, a couple of cautions, but overall, man, it was great, close, high contact racing out there, and it didn't disappoint for sure.
Yeah, a little bit of short track, a little bit of intermediate, kind of see what was going on out there. Really fun track, a lot of cool stuff happened tonight.
That indeed. So let's go ahead and tell everybody where their favorite driver ended up finishing here this evening. Starting things off is the 315 of Mr. Zach Millett, getting the fantastic win here tonight with the 66 Drew Blaze right there, kind of hot on those heels, but it wasn't going to be enough. A solid second place for Blaze, with the 64 of Joe Hoggard with a solid run as well, finishing there in third. 69, Larry Dickerson started in fourth, and that's exactly where he finished here this evening. A great run there for Larry. You got the 28 of Chris Gones in up 29 spots. Your hard charger of the day finishing there in fifth. A great run there for Chris. The one bogus machine, Mr. DW, Derek Welch, having a solid run here tonight as well, finishing in sixth. 34 of Justin Johnson having a solid run as well, finishing in seventh. For Russ Kilgore, had to wait for some of those battles to clear out before making his moves, but he was able to climb his way up that leaderboard, finish here tonight in eighth. Chris Klein had a pretty solid battle there out on the racetrack here this evening to finish in ninth, with the 44 of Dana Shepard having another solid showing here, finishing up there in that top 10.
Yeah, Shepherd Nation was out there on YouTube too, so good to have them here. The 03 of Dylan Bryant finished in 11th place, up 15. Kevin Dillian, the 53, had some great races out there with some guys and mixing it up. The 13 of Jonathan Hammond up a whole bunch of spots from 36th to 13th, so great run by Jonathan. 71 of Blaine Woodruff will finish in 14th place. 15th, Thomas Welch in the 9. Thomas Welch Nation out there as well. Let's see. Jeff Ottinger in the 76 finishes in 16th place. The last car on the lead lap in 17th would be Sean Walton in the 10. PJ Cox finishes in 18th place, one lap down. Stephen Wood in the 19 finishes in 19th place. Rounding out your top 20, the 2 of Scott Milner.
And the 21st, Double O Joe Bennett in that Chevrolet machine. 22nd, Timothy Stubblefield. 23rd, the number 5, Anthony Williams. 24th, up 4, number 6, Joe David. 25th, America's driver, Albert Anderson in the 329. 26th, Chris Muth Jr. in that 3 Chevrolet. Our only Canadian in the field tonight, Jarrett Woodard ended up 27th. 28th, Paul Ferdiani, the gambler, in the 33. 29th, Mark Collins in the 45 car. 30th, 005 AJ Evangelista.
The 32 of Nick Biddy will finish in 31st place. 32nd, Chuck Kiger in the 22. Oh man, you talk about a guy that had some contact with some folks out there tonight. The 22 definitely did that. So did the 7 of Tristan Cotton, and he'll finish 7 laps down in 33rd. 34th, Robert Edgerton in the double nickel. The 48, Skylar Harrod finishes in 35th place. 36, Tate Cawthorn in the 17. Christopher Campbell with some big troubles out there tonight in the 68, finishing 67 laps down. And let's see, Vince Short, I'm not sure he gridded in the 15. He'll finish 38th. And then you got Race Control, Tom Barish. Thank you so much, Tom, for all the work you do at Race Control. And Mike Adamson, I don't believe he gridded. He logged in, but I don't think he gridded the car tonight.
And that does it here for your field out there at Nashville Super Speedway. As always, we thank you all for tuning in and watching. If you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell, as we are live 5 nights a week and you don't want to miss a single second of the race and action that we got to bring to you. And if you like any of it, be sure to hit that thumbs up button as well, so that way we can continue to fool all these YouTube algorithms and all that kind of stuff, and we can continue to grow this fantastic community we got growing on over here. Of course, we also have to say a big thank you to the race sponsors like JP Designs out here tonight, big sponsor of this Nashville Super Speedway 160 here this evening. Big thank you to them, and of course also a huge thank you to Sim Gear Central as well. Great button boxes, be sure to go check them on out. Track Bar Media, fantastic video promos and edits done for your real life or sim life racing. Be sure to go check them on out. Big thank you to Martin Sports here as well. Absolutely fantastic racewear, as well as team jerseys and all that kind of stuff. So thank you, Martin Sports. Of course, Davidson Builders up there in that northern New Jersey area. Big time thank you to you guys jumping on board here this season. And of course, DEP Graphics as well. Some fantastic paint schemes as seen by all. So be sure to go and check out DEP Graphics as well. Well, that does it here for us tonight. Tomorrow night, we got ourselves some HCK Beagles racing action back in those trucks. Let us let's see where they're at here this week. Coming on up, it's gonna be at Rockingham. So the truck's taking on the Rock for 110 laps. That one's gonna be an absolute blast. So definitely stay tuned on in for that one. And of course, the Vigilante Racing Series on Wednesday night continues their playoff push. So a whole bunch of great racing action left here this week. So we look forward to seeing y'all then. But until then, I'm Alan Brown for Alan English and Adam Turner. We're signing off.
We gone.
See ya.